about Rahul Gandhi. Now, if Rahul Gandhi is speaking the language of Pakistan, or if Rahul Gandhi is in any way in cahoots with Asif Munir, the Pakistani Army Chief of Staff, then why are they including a member of the Congress Party or members of the Congress Party in the delegation? Doesn't make any sense. The problem is, and I must make it absolutely clear, that in today's BJP, they know nothing about anything else except politics. Every occasion is a political occasion, and they would like to derive the maximum electoral advantage, benefit from any such occasions. Military conflict, starting from the 47-48 Kashmir conflict. In every conflict, at an appropriate time, the government has come out with the figures of casualties, both of men and material. We know how many people we lost in Kargil, don't we? We know that because we know how many people were lost in the Indian peacekeeping forces operation in Sri Lanka. We know how many people we lost in 71 war, in 65 war. So it is in a democracy, you don't hide these things. You go out, inform Parliament, inform the people what your casualties have been. What else is it? And if there is any explanation for it, why hasn't the Foreign Minister come out with that? If there is a protocol which required him to inform Pakistan in advance, he should come out and make such a statement.
No, but the statements which we have seen from the government side, they said, no, this is distorted. This is not what he wanted to say, but he has said this on record.
That is on record, and they can't hide behind subsequent statements that they have made. That's why I'm saying that three people are most culpable, along with the Prime Minister. Three people: the Home Minister for the terror attack which took place in Pahalgam, the Foreign Minister for the manner in which he handled diplomacy, and third is the NSA, National Security Advisor.
The moment you raise these questions, whether it is the opposition leader, whether it is journalists, whether it is activists, they will be labeled as people who are siding with Pakistan.
I have no hesitation in telling you, and through you, all the audience who are watching, that I am asking these questions. I will continue to ask these questions. Let them damn me by saying that I'm an anti-national, I'm a Pakistani. I don't care.
Hello and a warm welcome to HW News Network, your one-stop show, truth be told, for some engaging and thought-provoking conversations. Leader of the opposition, Rahul Gandhi, has been consistently raising one question as to, during the Operation Sindoor, how many fighter jets or how many planes has India lost? And especially after Foreign Minister's clip which went viral, where he said that he had already sent a message to Pakistan before the military strike, informing them that it will only be the terror camps which will be attacked, not the military or the civilian installations. This is the clip which went viral, after which Rahul Gandhi has tweeted twice and asked that, especially after this clip, it means that Pakistan would have readied itself from beforehand because they have the information that India is going to strike the terror camps. Hence, the nation wants to know as to how many fighter jets has India lost. There is no answer to this. There is no answer as to why that ceasefire happened. Everything is a mystery. And now there is a multi-party delegation, a 7-team multi-party delegation, which is traveling to various countries. And they will explain what Operation Sindoor was all about. They will try and expose Pakistan. That is what the mandate of this multi-party delegation is. Of course, there's been a lot of politics because unilaterally BJP picked Shashi Tharoor, then muddying the Congress waters. Then Mamta Banerjee first took a stand that she will not send anybody because she was not contacted. Unilaterally, BJP has just decided on sending the people. So the pitch and the tone and the tenor has not been right. But as of now, what we are hearing, that Abhishek Banerjee has confirmed a TMC representative who will be part of the multi-party delegation. But coming back to the main question, how many fighter jets has India lost? There is no answer to that. But since Rahul Gandhi raised this question, Amit Malviya tweeted this morning, and I'm going to put out that tweet for you so that you can take a look what he has written. It's not surprising that Rahul Gandhi is speaking the language of Pakistan and its benefactors. He hasn't congratulated the Prime Minister on the flawless Operation Sindoor, which unmistakably showcases India's dominance. Instead, he repeatedly asks how many jets we lost, a question that has already been addressed in the DGMO briefings. Curiously, he hasn't once inquired about how many Pakistani jets were shot down during the conflict or how many were destroyed while parked in their hangars when Indian forces pounded the Pakistani air bases. What's next for Rahul Gandhi? Nishane Pakistan. And there is an abominable picture put out, and obviously it's been made with artificial intelligence. Look at this picture. On one half of the face is that of Pak Army Chief Asim Munir, and the other half is that of Rahul Gandhi. Now, we'll try and discuss that, what is the government really wanting through this multi-party delegation? Is the government going all out with this multi-party delegation only so that those sticky questions cannot be answered? Is it trying to deflect attention? Where are those questions about a special session, an all-party meeting, which should first brief the domestic audience as to what has happened on Operation Sindoor? But what is happening? The moment you raise a question on Operation Sindoor, you are labeled as a Pakistani, just as what the tweet of Amit Malviya today indicated. So we'll try and discuss all of this. Joining me now is a very special guest this evening. We have a veteran politician and former Union Minister, Yashwant Sinha, with us. So thank you so much for joining on HW. Always a pleasure listening to you always. But Mr. Sinha, what would you really say about the tweet of Amit Malviya, which has been put out, where he says that what is next for Rahul Gandhi? It's Nishane Pakistan. What can one say?
There used to be a Nazi minister in Hitler's regime in Germany. His name was Goebbels, and he was the minister in charge of propaganda. The only comment that I like to make about such an insignificant person as the one you have named, that he looks like Goebbels, he behaves like Goebbels, and he's done enormous damage to the BJP, of which once I was a member. I am extremely sad to see that on the one hand, the government is reaching out to the opposition parties and expecting them to go abroad and put India's case before the world. And on the other, their man in charge of information technology is making such a statement about Rahul Gandhi. Now, if Rahul Gandhi is speaking the language of Pakistan, or if Rahul Gandhi is in any way in cahoots with Asif Munir, the Pakistani Army Chief of Staff, then why are they including a member of the Congress Party or members of the Congress Party in the delegation? Doesn't make any sense. The problem is, and I must make it absolutely clear, that in today's BJP, they know nothing about anything else except politics. Every occasion is a political occasion for them. And they would like to derive the maximum electoral benefit from any such occasion. So Rahul Gandhi is in cahoots with Pakistan. Whole Congress party is nothing but acting as agent of Pakistan here India. So why didn't you move against them? Why didn't you start cases of treason against them? You are the ruling party, isn't it? You can't get away by making a statement only. You take them to court. But that they will not, because they feel that with the help of the Gandhi media, they can make any untruth sound truthful. That's the problem.
But Mr. Sinha, what does one say about these questions as to how many fighter jets have been downed on the Indian side? Now, are these not the questions which one should raise? Because the moment you ask these questions, you are labeled as an anti-national. But are we going to get the answers? Because government is totally quiet on this. It is silent. Rather, it has deflected the attention of Operation Sindoor to a totally different level now. And they have turned around this entire narrative.
As far as I remember, I am not mistaken when I say this, that in every conflict, military conflict, starting from the 47-48 Kashmir conflict, in every conflict, at an appropriate time, the government has come out with the figures of casualties, both of men and material. We know how many people we lost in Kargil, don't we? We know that, because we know how many people were lost in the Indian peacekeeping forces operation in Sri Lanka. We know how many people we lost in 71 war, in 65 war. So it is in a democracy, you don't hide these things. You go out, inform parliament, inform the people what your casualties have been. Why do you want to hide these figures? I don't know. And particularly the figure of aircraft lost. Because as far as men and material are concerned, you can say that we are still making an estimate. But what about aircraft? That aircraft were lost. Some fell in Bhatinda, some parts fell in Jaisalmer. I mean, all these are in public domain. So what is the big deal if you disclose it to the people of India? That we lost, 2 aircraft, 1 aircraft, or whatever. And obviously, they were lost in Indian territory, in Indian skies, because their remnants did not fall in Pakistan, like the last time when Abhinandan was captured by the Pakistanis.
But Mr. Sinha, if you look at the sequence of events, 26 lives were lost on 22nd April. The entire nation expected that the government will do a retaliatory strike. They did that. But then immediately after 2 days of that operation, we do not know how, why, where, and how come that situation unfolded. And all of a sudden, Donald Trump creeps in and he says he takes all the credit for the ceasefire. Then he says that trade was the major reason. And then we do find stories where, some kind of a trade has happened. Piyush Goyal is in America. He's met the secretary over there, and all sorts of stories now coming out. And no one knows as to why this ceasefire happened. Now, don't you think that before sending the multi-party delegation, the prerogative of the government should have been to address the domestic audience, tell the people as to why this ceasefire happened, tell the army that why ceasefire call was taken. But without doing all this, the government is just sending out a multi-party delegation. What do you think is the intention of the government when it is doing so? And is it not misleading the nation on Operation Sindoor?
It is misleading the nation without doubt on the success or otherwise of Operation Sindoor. I mentioned to you the fact that it is BJP's tendency to convert everything into an electoral opportunity. Through the Tiranga Yatras, they have already tried to do it. And we'll see more and more of it. as we go forward. The Bihar elections are around the corner, and I can tell you today that just as they did after Pulwama, the Prime Minister himself will be raising questions about, will be mentioning Operation Sindoor and taking credit for it, and how they have done damage to Pakistan, how they have silenced Pakistan, how they have defeated Pakistan. So this is the narrative which has already started making the rounds. And so on the one hand, they will like to encash it as much as possible for electoral gains, a process which has already been started. And on the other hand, they would like to show to the people of this country and the world that India stands united. If India was united, then why didn't the Prime Minister attend the all-party meeting on the day when he went rather to Bihar and made a statement there? Suppose he had the opposition leaders standing with him and he was making a statement after the all-party meeting, wouldn't that have sent a very, very important message to the people of India and to the world? But that they will not do, because their entire purpose is to make or to take electoral advantage of this whole thing, which is very, very unfortunate. The people of India are entitled to ask questions and get answers. And the questions will begin not only from where the planes were lost, but they will begin from the attack in Pahalgam. Why did the attack happen? And why is it that while we have attacked Pakistan, we have not been able to catch hold of those 4 or 5 terrorists who killed 26 people in Pahalgam? Why? I mean, all these questions will be asked. They'll be asked in Parliament. They are being asked by the people today outside Parliament.
No, and but the government... These questions, Mr. Sinha, the moment you raise these questions, whether it is the opposition leader, whether it is journalists, whether it is activists, they will be labeled as people who are siding with Pakistan.
I have no hesitation in telling you, and through you, all the audience who are watching, that I am asking these questions. I will continue to ask these questions. Let them damn me by saying that I am an anti-national, I am a Pakistani. I don't care. I don't care. People of India are entitled to know the truth. Democracy is all about accountability, isn't it? Who must be held accountable for the loss of lives in Pahalgam? The Home Minister? Why is he still in his chair? Who is responsible for Operation Sindoor? The Prime Minister? So we don't even want to know, we can't know what happened in Operation Sindoor. Of course we want to know. We have a right in our democracy.
Mr. Sinha, like Amit Malviya's tweet says that Operation Sindoor was flawless, it was so successful, and but Rahul Gandhi is repeatedly asking how many planes did India lose. So they have given a certificate to themselves that Operation Sindoor was a success. Now, who decides how successful this Operation Sindoor was, who won this war or the conflict? Because Pakistan is also claiming victory, India is also claiming victory. And if it was like a warlike situation, can there be victory on both sides if it's a war? Pakistan is also claiming victory and India is also claiming victory.
You have Goebbels. If you have Goebbels on both sides, then both sides will claim victory. The Nazis were winning the Second World War until the Soviet troops entered Berlin and were destroying the bunkers of Hitler. So this is propaganda. Where is BJP taking its leaf for propaganda from? Obviously from Nazi Germany. And I said this gentleman that you mentioned, who has tweeted, and also the photograph of Rahul Gandhi, as I told you, he looks like Goebbels, behaves like Goebbels.
I also want to come to a very important question. Right. Mr. Sinha, another important question is, of course, this clip of Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar going viral, where he says, and he says that, I messaged Pakistan. At the start of the operation, we messaged Pakistan informing them that we will strike only the terror camps. He said this on record. He called PTI, he called ANI, he called DD News, and he called IANS. And to these four channels, he gave this soundbite. Obviously, this soundbite would have gone on air only with the permission of the Prime Minister, or everybody in the cabinet would have known that this is what S. Jaishankar is going to place on record. Now, since the time that clip has become viral, everybody is saying that who on earth gave the license to the foreign minister to leak this kind of an operation? Have you ever heard in your political career, sir, you have decades of experience, that if you want to do a military strike, even if you're just wanting to hit the terror targets, are you supposed to message or inform your enemy country? Is that part of a protocol?
There is no protocol in war except the Geneva Convention. And as far as I know, the Geneva Convention or conventions in war do not prescribe such a course of action that if you want to hit the enemy, please inform him in advance. I think the foreign minister was extremely in the wrong when he made such a statement. And now his ministry and other people in government are trying to cover up. But the statement is so explicit, as you said. He's very clearly said that at the start of the operation. That's part of his statement. So he informed, and now there is information coming from Pakistan that they took full advantage of it and moved many of their assets in the meanwhile.
But these are questions for which the government has no answers. People have, since the time that clip went viral, people were saying that S. Jaishankar should be sacked from the foreign ministry and he should be asked to step down. No questions, no answers. Nobody is asking also that question. Look at the media, which is completely silent on it. Not one word about it. But the same UPA government, when that was in power, you had ministers leaving their posts one by one, whether it was 2611 or, for that matter, in the wake of all the scams which were there during the UPA times. But what would you really say? Shouldn't the foreign minister, is it equivalent to leaking your secret information? Mr. Sinha, would you equalize this as leaking your secret information to Pakistan?
Of course, it is leaking secret information to Pakistan. What else is it? And if there is any explanation for it, why hasn't the foreign minister come out with that? If there is a protocol which required him to inform Pakistan in advance, he should come out and make such a statement.
No, but the statements which we have seen from the government side, they said, no, this is distorted. This is not what he wanted to say, but he has said this on record.
That is on record, and they can't hide behind subsequent statements that they have made. That's why I'm saying that three people are most culpable, along with the Prime Minister. Three people: the Home Minister for the terror attack which took place in Pahalgam, the Foreign Minister for the manner in which he handled diplomacy, and third is the NSA, National Security Advisor. All these three people are culpable. All these three people have absolutely no right to be in government. And if the Prime Minister is not able to take their resignation, then the Prime Minister himself should resign. I'm very clear about it. And as you're aware, this has happened in the past when such terrorist strikes have taken place. So, there is no way in which they can hide behind anything now. Things are in the open. If they don't come out with the figures of casualties, including of material, then somebody else will. Somebody else will calculate. They're already, in international media, as you are aware, there are all kinds of conjectures now about what happened to our aircraft. And now we are also aware that Trump is very keen to sell his aircraft, the F-35s, to India. So everyone is looking for an opportunity in in this crisis.
But Mr. Sinha, what would you really say about?
And there's one more point which I'd like to make, because you mentioned it. Why did Trump declare ceasefire? Was this a 100 meters dash race where everyone was running to come first? The DGMOs of India and Pakistan were talking. They spoke to each other at 3:35 and agreed that there will be ceasefire effective 5 p.m. that day. That is the information which has come out from the government of India. And Trump immediately came out with his statement that he is a secured ceasefire between India and Pakistan. And he's also said that if there was no ceasefire, then millions would have lost their lives. Millions die only when there is a nuclear warfare. So what is Trump saying? And why is the Prime Minister of India coming out and saying that, Mr. Trump, you are wrong? We used to be friends at one time, but in this matter, you are completely wrong. Why isn't the Prime Minister coming out and making that statement? If the President of US can make that statement and repeat it ad nauseum, why won't the Prime Minister of India speak?
Absolutely. Mr. Sinha, but this whole bit about the multi-party delegation which is going abroad, do you think it's serving any purpose when the basic answers have not been sought back home? At least the Prime Minister was expected to address an all-party meeting. The Prime Minister was supposed to call a special session to explain as to what has happened. It was not a small thing. 26 lives lost. The government mounts an operation. Nothing is known about it. All sorts of question marks. And even then, now the government is just trying to. So is multi-party delegation just a cover-up exercise by the government, taking in opposition also? And has the opposition been trapped by this?
Let's remember that we have a Prime Minister who does not attend all-party meetings. And the very important all-party meeting which was held to discuss this crisis, the Pahalgam attack, the Prime Minister was absent. Isn't it? Therefore, what should have been done subsequently? There should have been an all-party meeting, as previous governments have done, as Atal Bihari Vajpayee government did during the Kargil crisis. He should have called the opposition leaders, met them. They should have discussed. The Pakistan Assembly, National Assembly, is in session. They have been in session during this whole conflict. Why can't the Indian parliamentarians attend? A parliament meeting could be convened and where we could discuss all this. All this will not happen because we know that Mr. Modi does not want to answer questions. All his dialogue is one way. So therefore, he'll never held a press conference in all these 11 years. He has never answered questions in Parliament. He will not, forget about a special session of Parliament or an all-party meeting. The government will try its best in the name of national security to not even permit a debate on this issue when Parliament convenes in the normal course. This is going to happen. And now you ask about this all-party delegation. This is creating eyewash. And I'm very surprised that the opposition parties were so, enthused by national sentiment that they decided to participate.
No, but don't you think, and what is your view? Should the opposition parties, knowing what Modi government is all about and their attitude and all the basic questions not answered, shouldn't the opposition parties have vehemently said that, look, multi-party delegation, we are not ready to go? They should have suspended and they should have just clearly said that we will not go for the multi-party delegation.
No, this is the line they should have taken. When Mamata Banerjee was not consulted about who should represent TMC, then she's decided that she will not allow Yusuf Pathan, who were nominated by the government, to join the delegation. And
now Dr. Banerjee, Kiran Rijiju tried to reach out to Mamata Banerjee, and they have deputed Abhishek Banerjee now to.
Yeah, she went halfway. She didn't go the whole hog. She should have said, we are not participating in this delegation. What should have happened? What should have happened was, number one, an all-party delegation, all-party meeting should have been held. An all-party meeting which should have been attended by the Prime Minister himself. That should have been the first condition of the opposition parties. The second condition should have been calling for an immediate special session of Parliament only to discuss this sequence of events starting with Pahalgam terror attack.
But do you
And
believe,
government
sir,
should have been forced to answer questions.
But do you believe that opposition went wrong because they were not able to insist on both these things, whether it was the all-party meeting or the special session, and they agreed for all-party delegation?
I have absolutely no. They got scared. I think they got scared because they thought that the whole avalanche of government propaganda machinery will fall upon them. And just as we were discussing what the IT cell in charge of BJP is doing to Rahul Gandhi, they would have gone hammer and tongs at the opposition parties. That even on national security issues, they are not prepared to cooperate with the government. But these are things which can be tackled, which should have been answered. They should have held their own press conference after the meeting of India Bloc and other opposition parties, and taken the government headlong. This should have been my advice, instead of succumbing to the pressure of the government and taking a trip abroad. To explain what? To explain what? Do they know what happened? I mean, apart from the brief briefing with Foreign Secretary did, the briefing was not even done by the Foreign Minister, much less the Prime Minister.
No, and yesterday I'm told that there was a standing committee meeting on the external affairs where Vikram Misri came and he briefed all the opposition members. The opposition members failed to even ask one question on Vikram Misri just because he was told, and whatever he said, opposition accepted it. So is opposition going wrong somewhere? I mean, they are so scared that they couldn't even ask questions to Vikram Misri yesterday in the standing committee meeting.
The chairman of this standing committee,
Shashi Tharoor,
is a gentleman called Shashi Tharoor. His name was not sent by his party, but yet he was picked up by the government, and he loudly declared that national interest demands that he should lead this all-party delegation to the US. So he is going to the US. Let's see who he meets in the US administration. Who does this delegation meet? What is the explanation that they are going to offer? But we are all become victims of the propaganda machinery of the government. That if you don't agree with the government, then you are anti-national. You are pro-Pakistan. You are talking the language of Pakistan. I think Rahul Gandhi should stand up firmly and tell the BJP what they deserve to be told.
Absolutely. And I'm not sure whether Rahul Gandhi will certainly ask questions, but whether will we get answers on Operation Sindoor or not. But just before I wind up the interview, my last question to you, Mr. Sinha, is that in entirety, when you look at the way this Operation Sindoor was conducted, whether it was a ceasefire, whether it was a military strike, followed by multi-party delegation, the manner in which the party BJP handled all of this, what do you say? Was it a successful operation, or would you say it was a botched operation?
We decided to attack Pakistan's installations, or let's say installations in Pakistan, terrorist installations. So we informed Pakistan that this is what we are doing. Please cooperate with us. They decided, as the foreign minister has said, they decided not to cooperate. So we hit their terrorist camps. Then Pakistan attacked our military bases. We replied in kind. Then Trump Babu intervened and he brought about a ceasefire. This is how I look at the sequence of events. Whatever the government of India says is something which is not worthy of any credibility, because they are not telling us the truth. They are keeping the people in the dark. And today I'm warning you, and through you, the people who are listening to this program, that just wait and see how the Modi government encashes this operation Sindoor in the Bihar elections.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Sinha. Thank you very much for joining on HW. Thank you.